The story opens with Ray King, a former deputy director at Finson, sitting quietly in a bar during bingo night. A young woman named Anaïs approaches him, unaware that men working for someone named Burke are watching them closely. Ray shows her a photo of the Sanchez family from El Salvador. She thinks he's asking her to eliminate them, but Ray explains he's just trying to find them for Edith's father. Realizing he's being watched, Ray quickly scribbles something on his arm and attempts to leave. In the chaos that follows, he fights and kills 2 of Burke's men, but as he runs out into the street, he's gunned down by Cobb, Burke's top enforcer. After Ray's death, Marybeth Medina, the current deputy director of Finson and Ray's emergency contact, arrives at the morgue to identify his body. There, she notices the words, "Find the accountant," scrawled on his arm. Meanwhile, Christian Wolff, the accountant, checks in with his handler, Justine, before heading into a speed dating event. Initially, several women are eager to meet him, but that quickly changes. Using a self-made compatibility algorithm, Christian makes blunt comments. He scoffs at the idea of love at first sight, admits he has no friends or pets, and mentions that he lives in an Airstream trailer, completely killing the mood. Marybeth begins investigating what Ray was working on. Her search leads her to files connected to Chris, prompting her to contact a neuroscience academy associated with him. On the other end, Justine overhears that Ray has been killed. Elsewhere, Burke and Cobb discuss Ray and Anaïs at a construction site. They remember Anaïs. She once interrupted a meeting Burke was having with 3 men, killed them all, but spared him. Burke then sends Cobb to Fort Worth to deal with anyone else getting too close to their operation. Later, in a parking garage, Marybeth is approached by Chris. Together, they review Ray's pictures and notes, discovering photos of several dead Chilean ex-Special Forces soldiers, along with a tax return belonging to Edith Sanchez. They find out her father was a man named Emiliano Gonzalez, who was soon shot dead in Fort Worth. The next day, Chris and Marybeth head to a pizza factory, hoping to speak with the manager, Ike, where Edith once worked. When Ike refuses to cooperate, Chris pulls out his own research, implying Ike is involved in money laundering. Ike gets in his face, prompting Chris to twist his finger and fend off a few aggressive employees with ease. Eventually, Ike gives in, admitting he receives money from a man named Tomas, who's tied to human trafficking. In a lavish Berlin hotel, Chris's brother Braxton tries to adopt a corgi puppy, but the agent refuses to release it before the set date. Later, while on a mission to eliminate a target, Braxton gets a call from Chris asking for help. Although bitter over their strained relationship, especially since Chris hasn't contacted him in 8 years, Braxton agrees to meet. He joins Chris and Marybeth at a motel, where they wait in a room for 3 prostitutes. The women are paid for information on Tomas. 2 get scared and leave, but 1 stays, asking for extra money so she can escape Thomas's grasp. Eventually, Tomas shows up, and Braxton punches him straight off the balcony onto a car. They shove his unconscious body into Marybeth's trunk, which frustrates her, until Chris has Justine reroute traffic to avoid police. Meanwhile, Marybeth gets word about Emiliano's death, the murder of Edith's husband Gino, and the disappearance of their son, Alberto. The next day, she joins Chris and Brax as Chris contacts Justine again. Marybeth tries to persuade him to let her friend at Homeland Security, a PhD in computer science, assist, since he has access to high-level databases. She also learns that only 2 security cameras were active the night Ray was killed. Justine then activates her network of young hackers to scan surveillance footage throughout Los Angeles in search of Anaïs. They discover a video where a woman named Pamela accidentally captures Anaïs in a selfie. Despite Marybeth's concerns about privacy violations and the risk of exposure, the team retrieves the photo just in time, confirming Anaïs's presence and revealing her long history of global assassinations targeting criminal groups. Marybeth also finds out that Braxton was responsible for some of those killings. Shocked and disillusioned, she decides to split from the brothers and continue her investigation by the book. Later on, Marybeth meets with a lawyer to confront Tomas and his legal team. The atmosphere is tense, especially after learning that Ike was found murdered, with a rat shoved into his throat. Before Tomas can give any testimony against his superiors, a sudden sniper shot rings out. Cobb, watching from a nearby building, eliminates both Tomas and his attorney in an instant. Meanwhile, Justine gives Chris some unsettling news. He mentions an old car crash involving a mysterious woman, hinting that something much deeper is going on. As the night progresses, Chris and Braxton grow closer. They later stop by a bar where Chris catches the eye of a friendly waitress named Angie. She invites him to join a line dance. Things are going well until her ex-boyfriend appears and picks a fight. Chris holds back, but Braxton jumps in. Together, they take down the guy and his friends, then make a quick exit. Braxton can't help but smile, seeing that Chris managed to get Angie's number. Back on her own path, Marybeth uncovers more details about the woman from the accident. Turns out, she suffered amnesia and had to undergo facial reconstruction. The trauma also triggered something rare, acquired savant syndrome. Suddenly, she became gifted in areas like chess, and later, in lethal combat. That woman was none other than Edith Sanchez, who eventually took on the identity of Anaïs. As time passed, Edith grew violent. After attacking a guard, she escaped the facility where she'd been treated. That same night, Braxton's boss, Batu, the head of Europe's largest assassin syndicate and Burke's ally, gives Braxton a brutal order: eliminate Marybeth. Just before going to bed, Chris learns about the hit. Fearing for her life, he rushes to save her. But Anaïs gets there first. It's revealed that Batu had canceled Brax's mission and sent Anaïs instead. She confronts Marybeth, and a brutal fight erupts. It ends with Anaïs stabbing Marybeth in the abdomen. As Anaïs prepares to leave, she notices a photo, herself as Edith, alongside Gino and young Alberto. The image floods her with memories of being trafficked by Burke's men and witnessing Gino's murder. Just as she vanishes, Chris bursts in and finds Marybeth injured. Elsewhere, Batu contacts Burke to report that someone unknown disrupted the recent hits, but he reminds him the contract still stands until Marybeth is dead. Burke, furious, orders Cobb and the others to gather all the kidnapped children at their Juarez compound and execute them. Acting quickly, Chris and Braxton, with help from Justine, head toward Juarez. The mercenaries begin rounding up the children, forcing them onto a bus. Just before tragedy strikes, the brothers arrive and open fire. One by one, the mercs fall. Cobb flees with the bus, trying to escape with Alberto on board. Chris loads Braxton into a van and gives chase. They track the bus to a large pit where the children are being held. A fierce shootout breaks out. The brothers move in, eliminating the remaining mercs. Chris climbs aboard the bus, while Braxton covers the rear. Cobb tries to cut a deal, offering up Burke's name in exchange for mercy. But neither Chris nor Braxton flinch. They shoot him without hesitation. After rescuing the children, the brothers drive the bus away from danger. At one point, Braxton tells Chris to stop, just so he can pick up a stray cat on the road. Earlier, Chris had said he's more of a cat person. That moment of peace is brief, but meaningful. Meanwhile, Justine contacts Batu. She threatens to leak all his secrets unless he cancels the contract on Marybeth, and he agrees. Then she reaches out to Anaïs, providing Burke's exact location. Batu informs Burke that the deal is off. Burke, fresh out of the shower, instantly senses danger. He's right. Anaïs is already inside. She picks up a large knife and silently trails him, ready to deliver justice. In the final moments, Marybeth, now healed, returns to her office. She dials a number monitored by Justine, expressing heartfelt thanks for saving the children. She says Ray would have been proud. Back at the hacker base, the young tech crew sets up a special room for Alberto. Chris and Braxton are on the road, bringing him there. While driving, Chris turns to Braxton and asks if they can finally go hiking together, something brothers should have done long ago. Braxton grins, clearly moved by the idea. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you didn't, well, go ahead and hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. Better yet, watch the full movie. Thanks so much for watching.